Episode 8, Thinking Game Podcast. We're bringing more content to you. This your boy Mike.
It's Jay.
So today's episode, we want to talk about, growing up in the hood, man, Southwest. The one thing people don't really talk about a lot is exposure. What have you been exposed to, and how do you process the information once you're exposed to it? So the definition of exposure, the revelation of an identity or fact, especially one that is concealed or likely to arouse disapproval. So pretty much exposure, let's put that in the regular people terms, that's Webster dictionary, but it's like regular people dictionary. When you see something that you particularly don't see all the time, it's something different, Growing up in Southwest, let's say, living in the Pines or something. And Pines don't even exist no more. Just say Pines, something general, right? You see a transaction. They selling something. They call it chicken, but this ain't chicken. That's what they call it.
This is a bird, huh?
Yeah, he flipping chickens, man. That's what they call flipping chickens. But we ain't talking about from a food giant. We talking about, something else. But, as a kid, you see that kind of stuff. You see two dudes looking around. Next thing you know, you see them exchanging hands or whatever. That's a little bit different. That's not your everyday kind of behavior. You know what I'm saying? So, but as a kid, some kids see that and they'll say, okay, I know what that is. That's typical for being in the Pines.
Yeah.
And some kids see it and be like, man, I want to do that because dude making money, man. He fresh.
Like, what's that?
You do that. But guess what? What you don't see, the exposure that you don't see is the end game of that, And we've all seen it. You live in Southwest. Most dudes that do that, sometimes it's going to be like jail.
Yeah, that's an exposure that you don't want.
Yes.
Exposed to penitentiary lifestyles.
And as much as documentaries as you can see, a lot of stuff we see on TV, I'm pretty sure, because I ain't never been to the pen or jail at all, but the real experience of being in jail, that's a whole nother level of exposure that you can't capture probably unless you've been there. Like, even if somebody can tell you the story is vivid, they can paint the picture, it's still different if you go to jail.
Because you don't feel that. You know what I mean? You don't feel when the lights go off.
Right.
You don't feel like there's no manager to talk to. Well, my bed's not comfortable. Let me get another hotel room. I don't like the way the guards are treating me. Let me speak to your supervisor. Yeah. None of that.
Or you got over 3,000 people in one place and then the doors just open. Anything can happen, you know what I'm saying? And that's in jail. Think about it, even in the like say, living in the hood, projects or like going to a school in the hood, You have to go to school with people.
Riding the bus.
Right. By default. They around you by default. You don't have a choice, you know what I'm saying? Unless you want to walk 5 miles to school, like you're going to have your Bill Cosby story.
Yeah, there's
walk 5 miles to school.
Uphill both ways.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Old school say that all the time. And when you're there, whether it's just the school, the culture that you're being exposed to, like when you're on the bus, you're unsupervised. There's one adult. There's 20, 30 kids in there. Those seats are tall.
And then you hope the ratio level out where, it's good kids. Then you have a bus with all maniacs on there.
Welcome to my bus.
It's like Royal Rumble on the bus.
Welcome to my bus.
Series.
Exactly. Can you make it to school?
And then the bus ride maybe 15 minutes, but that's the longest 15 minutes.
And it depends on where you get picked up and where you get stopped, you know what I mean? And then how many people from your neighborhood or this side of 65th or is we gonna be in the Wakefield area or we gonna be over there Baseline? We gotta pick a couple people up from Baseline.
Boy.
In your side of town or your side. Yeah. Didn't many people come to school today.
Right.
So it's just you. It's just you from your street.
Boy.
The people it's just you. Or maybe 2 other people.
Man.
And then we pick up those kids from the other side of town. Now you gotta make it.
Yeah, you got some decisions.
You gotta make it 17 blocks
level of exposure
in a bus, with these different kids from different areas that you've never seen before.
And then when you live, if you don't live in a house where everything is kind of contained, if you live in apartment complexes or projects or whatever they want to call it, you have more people that's outside, more people, more things you see, more things you're exposed to,
and you're closer.
If you're closer, you're close quarter proximity.
And I'll say that with proximity and exposure, if we think about like even with COVID now, the closer you are, you can't stop yourself from being exposed to your neighbor or somebody who's. That's why I want you to stay 6 feet, but almost in apartments, you're 2 feet from each other and you're so close, you're going to be exposed to that person. You know what I mean? And whether you want to be or not, and you're going to touch, you're going to share a space and things like that. And sharing that kind of space, you're just going to be exposed to, you're going to see a lot of things that are different from your household rules.
Right.
So your parents are trying to teach you good guidance and things like that and to be a good person, Christian and stuff like that. But you're going to be exposed to your neighbor's household and how they treat their kids and how their kids respond to them versus living in a house where, you're kind of separating. You have your little bubble. It's a little bigger.
Exactly. And I know living in apartments and stuff, I think that's probably what made us pretty solid, man. Like, you learn stuff from your parents, but then you see the opposite.
All around, more kind of overall.
You see the opposite, like your mom tell you to come in the house, but then the buddies that you hang around in the apartments don't come in the house at that time. And then you see those consequences. The stuff he goes through, the exposure he has because he want to stay out later at night, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And you tell mom, respect your elders, and then you see other homeboys, they don't respect the elders. I mean, they don't respect the OGs. They ain't got room. Exactly. So.
Talking about grown man strength.
Heck yeah. So, and then like that exposure, man, something different. Even you look at good exposure. You grow up in an urban area, hood, whatever, but you get exposed to somebody that has made it out, or you get lucky enough to do that, or you get blessed enough to do that. Some kids, you meet a guy or a mentor or something who shows you different things. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to be stuck in this.
Yeah, you don't have to take those risks to get money. Well, he's got a BMW and he didn't have to shoot anybody. He didn't have to sell drugs. He's not worried about. He's not looking over his shoulder. Right. He doesn't like, well, where's your gun at? Like, I don't carry a gun. Like, last time I was in a Lexus, my cousin, he had a pistol or something like that. Right. So you get exposed to a different way of thinking, a different lifestyle, and sometimes what you're exposed to kind of curves your imagination a little bit. It helps you think outside of the box that you're actually in. Right. Because people always talk about, I'm thinking outside the box and this and that. Sometimes you can't see outside of your own universe. Inside this box is my entire world. It's the only thing I've seen. Other stuff that I've seen on TV, I've made that like a dream or a fantasy. Right. You know what I mean? But to be exposed to regular people that you can touch, that you can put your hands on, and they can say that education can get you this, or they can say that hard work can get you this. Like, I'm an actual person. I'm not a movie star. You know what I mean? And I've earned a good living. That's why mentorship and actually seeing it, especially as a child, is really good to be exposed to different things. You know what I mean? But sometimes we're in that struggle mentality. So, you're going to eat what you're going to eat if you eat that day. You know what I mean? And, you're going to be exposed to a lot of people doing struggle stuff. You're going to be exposed to multifamily homes where your cousin, sister, brother, your aunties are all staying in the same house, and you go over someone else's house and like, this is my house. This is me and my wife's house, and it's 7 rooms in the house. Right. You're like, how is that even possible? You know what I mean? So being exposed to different things and being exposed to wearing different clothes and different cultures and things like that is so good. And those things affect you without even you knowing it. Right, just seeing things affect you.
Think about it. I didn't get my first. My wife always messed with me about this. I didn't get my first suit, like my suit, instead of hand-me-down. I didn't get my first suit to 30. Till I was like 30. And that's when I was, I think I was going to interview to try to be a firefighter, but it was like 28, 30 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? And that was probably my first suit, but, now I'm buying suits, but, growing up in Southwest, it's like you didn't think about buying a suit. You buy Jabos,
Yeah, sometimes a pair of jeans and a pair of shoes can cost just as much of a suit. Sometimes because this is what you save up for, and it's what you're exposed to. This is what success looks like in my neighborhood. This is what balling looks like in my neighborhood. So that's what I'm going to get, even though your money could have went that far. Yeah, oh my God, I was looking for my shoes the other day.
We had the black and white ones, the all black.
The all black ones was love, bro.
The all black one was cold.
Man, it was just different. But you have. And those different things that you view as success, because that's what, like I say, you're exposed to. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get that. Like, I didn't. Go ahead.
That gray area that nobody talks about is like me and you, for instance. we didn't have somebody that was a little bit older than us. I mean, we probably piggybacked off each other more than we had somebody that was older than us to like really like sit us down and chop it up with us. Because I don't know, it's like no, we didn't have nobody to really think like that, like we was thinking, like an older person that was like, if we was in our 20s, somebody that was like 25 or 30, you know what I'm saying, like 35 or something.
Yeah,
like
you're talking about that
know?
mid, like you're in your early 20s, like you're 15, you got maybe like a 18 to 25-year-old is really kind of giving you the game. Like my dad was excellent. I mean, even though coming over like even with Mike here coming over, telling us stuff, thinking outside the box and doing different things. But having that person was just a little older, doing the right thing, because we definitely had a bunch of people that was a little bit older that were doing the wrong thing. They can tell you about they had penitentiary stories and things like that. So we did have those kind of older people, but we want to see somebody doing success. Honestly, really talk, like when I was 15, I can't say that I knew one person that was in college. That was actually like in college at the time. So that's putting somebody with
that was in proximity
that I can actually talk to. My cousins had already graduated college because they were in their late 20s and stuff. They had already graduated. My parents had already, most of those people had graduated college. They had already passed it. But somebody that I can look up to and say, hey, what's college like that are just like, even when I was 18.
Right.
Like, hey, what's college going like now? Like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of even our classmates, after they either was still there after they graduated or they disappeared. Right. Even though they went to a college in Pine Bluff or they went to college, just one state over in Texas, that was like they didn't exist anymore. You know what I mean?
See that exposure, like if you have somebody that went there before you did, this is what I talk to my wife about this all the time. It's like when somebody can come back and give you the details instead of just giving you the big picture, they give you the details on how to make the big picture form and how everything come together. Like,
or at least start.
You tell somebody like, instead of somebody like go to school, now to go to school you got to have the internet. First of all, you got to have a laptop. You got to have internet.
Just as like a pencil and paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get on the internet. You got to pay your application fee, fill out the application, pay the application fee, make an appointment, talk to an advisor, set your schedule up, and you have to take care of that. Nobody's going to do that for you.
That's another thing too that
you
they don't tell
assistant or
you.
Secretary.
And I promise, like your first year, definitely your first semester, after your second semester, you become masters at this. You know where financial aid is. You know where all these places are, all these checklists. But before then, you have no idea. And there's nobody there to teach you. This stuff, because you're not actually a college student yet, so the college is not really going to help you. You're not a high school student anymore. You're just in that the little weird area. And people say, go to school, and get your education. What is the first step? Picking a school or going in there and getting your stuff done. No, like the first step, application fee. Do I need to go on there and fill out an application? Do I need my transcript? Like, who do I turn my transcript into? Should I have that on an email? Should I have that digitally? Or should I have like just little stuff like that? A kid doesn't know. Right. I can remember not knowing those
18,
things.
I mean, 17, 18, man.
Yeah, like my parents registered me for school. What I did was I picked my electives. Right. You know what I mean? And that was a little taste of it. You know what I mean?
Now, but my kids' school, everything's digital now. Like I was telling my wife, can you imagine having 9 kids or something like that now and trying to keep up with all their classes? You got 5 teachers that's on Facebook. The other 4 is on Class Dojo. Then you got emails coming, class events, permission slips, report cards, interim reports for 9 kids. Man,
and these teachers gonna do stuff a little different.
I mean, just with 2 kids, you're like, man, when does this email stop, man? But man, having a lot of kids, man, that expose, man, it's crazy. That exposure is something else, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and what you're exposed to is gonna affect your perception, which we spoke on in our earlier videos. But that changes everything. You can't even stop your perception from changing. You don't even notice it because you view it as normal. Yeah. Like I said, when you've bought $300, $150 pair of shoes, but you haven't bought a suit yet. Boy, and that's completely normal.
We had plenty of shoes.
And that's completely normal to your mentality and the things that you're around.
Boy.
Thinking back, like, oh, that wasn't smart. But, you know, you hadn't even purchased a fitted suit.
I be seeing, like, homeboys, they be like, man, Mike, you wearing suits now, man? You used to wear them with jeans and T-shirt, man.
Man, it was race car shirts. You know what I mean?
I still got the race car shirt.
Like, definitely maintaining yourself.
Like, you had the rims, you trying to keep up. You trying to paint this facade like you balling, but you really not. Like having the rims and stuff.
Yeah, whether it's trying to being perceived like it's what you like. I mean, you want to have things. I mean, that's what we work for, to have things that we like.
But let's be honest.
But with our perceptions, we
when
put
you
things
young,
over.
you get those things to try to impress the girls. I mean, if somebody told you you don't need this, you really don't need this. You getting this because you want to stand out like a peacock or something. You just want to flex. And I
completely agree, you know, like what you're saying, but that's not limited to a child or young behavior. There's a lot of people that would be just as good in a Chevrolet Impala, a Toyota Camry, that drive Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah,
for perception and things like that. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the Toyota Camry.
No.
Or anything wrong with driving that. You work for that. You get to do what you want to do.
Right.
So, and as a child, that's one of those first things, not a child, but as a teenager, I'm going to work a full-time job. I'm going to get some 20-inch rims, or I'm going to get this type of car. You know, I can't wait to get my Hellcat. You know what I mean? And, you know, this and that with my GI Bill money or whatever.
Being exposed to trends. The thing you don't realize is trends, they fade real fast. I remember when I first got the 20s on the Monte Carlo.
Yes, sir.
Maybe like a year and a half, 2 years.
22s.
I think the 22s came out. I didn't get the 22s. I didn't get the 24s.
24s, 26s. You know what I mean? Like, man.
I remember when 20s first came out, they looked big on the car.
Yes.
22s came out. 20s looked small. 24s came out. 20s looked small.
20s look regular. I think you can buy factory rims. It's like 20s there. But I mean,
oh man, when you follow trends, man, you always trying to play catch up. You always got to keep up, man. You know, when you get out of that mindset, you expose yourself to a different mindset and say, you know what, I don't got to keep up. Why am I keeping up with the trends for? Why? Like, some people don't ask you. Like, you ask somebody, why are you keeping up with the trends for? A lot of people that's what they want to do though. And I've been there. I've been in that phase.
Because what's the point of being rich if people don't know you're rich?
Most rich people, they don't even care about trends. It's rich people. I remember we used to go to the mall, man. You see, he had on shorts, a polo shirt, loafers with no socks, man. He probably wouldn't even tell unless you just see what kind of shirt he got. I'm like, oh, that's a Tommy Bahama or something. But he got all $500 loafers, man. But if you don't notice that, but you can tell, you look down like, oh yeah, that dude probably loaded. He just not dressing up to what we think loaded is. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, we're going to flow on to the next topic, though, is there a such thing as good exposure and bad exposure? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, you know, like being exposed to different things that are outside of your, sometimes the negative things you're in, like from a hood mentality, being exposed to professionals, people who work every day, versus maybe somebody who doesn't work, who's always like hustling and things like that. Those are like, well, this is the way you get a Cadillac car. You sell drugs, you get your Cadillac. And then I see somebody now I'm exposed to our professionals, whether it's doctor, lawyer, nurse, they get the same thing without the risk, being exposed to that. That's how you know stuff exists, especially as a child.
Right.
You just know what you see, you know what I mean, and things like that. And everything else is just TV.
Right.
That's good exposure. You know, bad exposure, if somebody disrespects you, you have to fight. And that's just the mentality and the thing that you're exposed to. To live, to be healthy and safe, that I have to fight over disrespect.
Right.
Just so many things that affect you, that you're exposed to, that you don't even realize that it's changing your mentality and your perception on things.
It's so ironic, man. Living in the hood, right? It seems like all the good dudes leave, and the dudes that's like, we talking in general, right? Like growing up, probably about 10 to 17, when you can kind of recognize what's going on around you. It seems like all the good dudes leave, and the dudes that's left, sometimes it be like dudes that's like, you don't have no choice but to see them because they there. Mm-hmm. But it'd be like womanizer, dude that's a hustler, or dudes that's the hood dudes, banging and stuff like that, and that's all the kids see, and it's like he haven't seen nothing outside because. We was able to have cars, we was able to go places and stuff like that when we was young. We was blessed, but some kids don't. That's all they see is that group of dudes. It's almost like
we're in public housing, so we're gonna get the kind of people who live in there. And now
it's like watching Animal Planet every day for humans, though. And you're not seeing the best animals like eagles flying through the air and.
I'm talking about vultures.
Yeah, you talking about hyenas,
jackals,
hyenas, lions, jaguars. Every kind of predator you can imagine.
And we're not talking about those big predators that are hunting good game. I mean, we're gonna eat the leftovers.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see a man who's living off a woman who's living off Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have enough to get your own. You're living off of somebody who didn't have enough to get their own. Like, that's how far you are as a...
and what does that say to a kid? You know what I'm saying? How do a kid process that?
Or just like, seeing you... They're not seeing you pick up books for studying. They're not seeing you go to work. They're going to school. Right. But then you're telling them to go to school, but you're just sitting on the couch in the same place. You're eating the same cereal they're eating. They're eating the same cereal they're eating. They're playing the same video games that they're eating. They're playing. The adult is trying to get the kid off the video game so they can play.
And then
they're just smoking weed. Kids can smell that. They see you drink all the time.
Right. And then we both.
So I can't wait to get out of school so I can play video games and drink alcohol and smoke weed all day.
Yeah, and then we know let's just be honest. We grew up in the hood. We know this, like dudes we know or we knew and stuff like that. It's like we know dudes that we went to school with or dudes that we knew in the hood, right? They their family line. Grandpa was a hustler. Dad was a hustler. Older brother was a hustler. And now it's like the lot fell on you now. Now you got to be a hustler.
Almost got to be like, it's like we're going to get you a starter pack at 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to see, man, even with that, you see jail time. And we love those highlight moments. And we're like we talk about sports people. Well, let's talk about Deion in his prime or Bo Jackson in his prime before the injury. And then I promise every one of them's like that. Right. Oh, your dad, but man, when he was on. I remember he had that 6'4" Impala. Man, he was the first person I know with triple gold.
Boy.
Now he's borderline homeless.
Yeah.
But we talking about his prime though, man. Remember he was getting, 2,000 yards a season. You know what I mean?
Think about
and every family member has that.
I know jail is crazy, but even when you out here, sometimes it can feel like you in a prison because it's been dudes that have money and you know they got money, but they can't spend it. And guess what? The predators know that too.
So they picking around, they sitting around, they sending their girls around. They got a homegirl. Exactly. You swear she in love with you, just trying to figure out where that money is that you can't spend.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like when you pass down your kid like ice chest, 3 garbage bags full of cash. Yeah. Like construction bag, and like what can they really do with it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right now, they're okay right now.
You can't wash that money clean with Tide, man. You can't wash it clean.
You know what I mean? But it's like,
what do you think a kid think? Like,
you're not gonna go to work and look at a chick. When you look at a chick as a kid you work 2 weeks and they give you $400, $350, and you stepped over.
Right.
What, $8,000, $20,000 getting ready for school?
Right.
You know what I mean? When you were 6, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And that's not what they promise you about working hard and getting educated. Even their dad's a hustler. He has tons of money and stuff like that. And he tells his kid to go to school to get a job and do things the right way. Right. But y'all are playing with thousands of dollars, man, on a domino table. You know what I mean? And you telling him to go work somewhere for
you got $1,000 in ones.
dirty 5s and 10s and stuff like that. Man. And you're telling him to work at some weird fast food place for $400.
And then
being exposed to money in the wrong way could make you expect certain things out of life that just don't come when you go try to work.
One of the most important things, looking back on hindsight, is knowing how to choose before you open the box to have enough wherewithal to say, is this a good exposure or bad exposure that I'm about to open?
Yeah, because you can't unpoison yourself. You can't
Sometimes
be unexposed.
You don't even know what's in here until you open.
You can't be unexposed to radiation.
You have to be able to have forethought to say, is this a good exposure? Oh, okay. Or is this a bad exposure? Oh. So, what do you mean by that? It's beside me. Like, I understand back in the 80s, right? People, they didn't know what drugs, what they know about crack. They didn't know how bad
I say this
it
all
was.
the time, yeah.
But now, in the millennium, I mean,
his YouTube videos,
why would you
his documentaries.
Why would you want to try crack? I don't get a drug.
How the hell are there new crackheads?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would not want to do that. I mean, you know what it does. You see what it does. I mean, you could ride in any urban neighborhood. You see what it do. But for some reason, somebody gonna say, you know what? I could do this. I could do this. The next thing you know, you can't close the box. You try to close it. You try to hide it. But then it's like it starts singing to you, man. I need this box back. I need this box back. You trying to hide it, but then you know where you hid it at, then you go back and find it.
And
you have to be able to make those choices because they come at you faster. Boxes come at you faster when you're older. It seems like it come at you faster, and you have to constantly be making choices and decisions like, do I open this box or do I pass on this box? Do I open this box or do I pass on this box?
And there's long-term benefits and long-term consequences. I mean, there's a difference. I mean, there's consequences for every action. But, you know, some of those some people, you get older sometimes, and some people, we see people with money commit suicide and with success, and we see all these things. Sometimes you just want to feel better. And I just want to, they say this crack can make me feel better.
feel like you in the Billie Jean video, you know, where he was stepping on the concrete. The concrete was lighting up.
Boop. 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 Drug use and abuse is very serious, you know, but these are the things. I mean,
let's gonna cover another topic, but man, yeah, don't good. And then it's interpretation. Sometimes kids, some people think it's good, somebody else may think it's bad, and what somebody else think is bad, somebody else may think it's good, which is weird. But some stuff it should just be like all the way across the board, like crazy,
universal,
like messing with drugs, like heroin, crack. I mean, you should think that's bad. Like everybody should think that's bad. You know what I'm saying?
I just man, sometimes I had you know. I'll be too up. I need to calm down. So I'll just, you know, ride the horse.
And then, you know, most black families, you deal with that addiction to drugs because it messes people up, man. The crazy part about the drug is the stuff that it make you do that makes you want to fulfill it, like just stealing stuff or. You know, just,
stealing, sexual favors, selling, loss of pride.
Like not just, you know, you ain't going to the store like stealing stuff. Like they get creative. Like, do you know how creative you got to be to steal copper out of an AC unit, man? How mechanical you got to be.
Some of these people can fix anything. You don't lose your God-given talent.
Like these dudes,
just because you're
crackheads. My wife had a rent house one time, and the tenants was out, and there had to be some crackers. They came in and they knew exactly where to go because it was a crawl space house, and they got all the copper out the house. I mean, it's like they was plumbers or something, man. They got all. I mean, any kind of copper pipe she had, it was gone. It was gone, bro. And it's like, who?
You know, how much money are you getting for that amount of work?
Most people don't even want to go into a crawl space, but
unknown crawl space.
Yes. Addiction, something that you want that bad to make you want to go steal copper, man.
I've seen people overcome fears.
Man.
Like, I'm claustrophobic, but I got to get that rock. I got to get under there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Scared of bugs. I see people who be out there in the cold trying to get their necks fixed.
I know, right? I mean? Yeah. And, man, man, you have to be careful, man, what boxes you open, man. That's one of the analogies.
Yeah, some of them you can't close back.
Yeah, some of them you try to close, you can't. You in there, man. It's hard to get out, man. And sometimes, man, people, there's a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? And you realize that you can't make a person do something. They have to have the mindset to want to do it. You can't tell this person, dude, I can give you the information. Don't do it. Don't open the box. And then when a person by themselves, they say, I got curious.
Yeah. And you're going to deal with that in life too. And sometimes you can spoil a kid or a person, surrounding them by the best choices all the time. So they think the best options are always going to be available. Well, I'll get again.
They get that entitled.
Yeah, I'll make another 40,000. I'll make another. I'll get another scholarship. I'll get another. And then sometimes, as an adult, as a teacher, as a mentor, or even as a person experiencing it, sometimes those opportunities just go away.
Right. That's true.
And you're like, hold on. I used to get. I used to have, and what happened to? We tried to. We led you to water like 15 times. Every time you strayed away, we got it. We made you go to the water. And you saw all the opportunities that you had at the water. You didn't drink.
Right.
Now that well is run dry.
Yep.
And now you're like, well, can I get those opportunities back that you offered me? Like, there's no more water.
Exactly.
We gave you first choice.
Right.
Now the water's been drinking.
And some people, we want to be honest about it. Some people know that the water is good, but they don't want to take the water because
maybe not right now.
They don't want to give up something.
I want my freedom.
I like going off on people, but if I drink this water, I won't go off on nobody.
I have to take accountability. Yeah,
I like wreaking havoc. I like.
I've definitely been there myself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I went there like I'm an egomaniac, man. I mean, you're looking at one of the most egotistical dudes probably, and had to drink the water and be humble. Man, that was an experience for me.
No one will take you where you want to go. It's not. It's not somewhere you need. You need to go there, but it's not somewhere you need or have to go. It's where you want to go, but you have to do this. So you have to let go of whatever's in this hand to get that. And it's like, wow, why is that a hard decision? Why is the right decision so hard for you to make? Because you want. I know people won't do stuff because they're going to lose their freedom.
Yeah, the monkey in the
coconut.
The monkey in the coconut. You stick his hand. You're
gonna lose your freedom. You're gonna lose the ability to do random bad things that you consider freedom to get what you want.
Right.
So you're scared to lose the possibility of doing something.
Yeah, and they tricked the monkey to get what you want. Yeah. And they tricked the monkey, right? They put what you want. They put what the monkey want in the coconut. That's how they trap him.
Yeah, and they put the coconut in the cage. You open your hand.
You stick your hand in the coconut and you grab it.
But you can't pull it out.
But you can't pull it out. And then they coming to get him. He can't. He don't want to let that
go. So danger's coming towards him.
Yes.
Only thing he has to do to escape the danger.
Let it go.
Is let the coconut go.
Or just get his hand out the coconut. Let what's inside the coconut go.
Yeah.
Because his hand is in the hole of the coconut. And it's all he got to do is let it go. Let it go.
Slide, just like you slid your hand in there. You slide it out.
But he can't.
Put the box in and you're good to go.
And then he get trapped. He get stuck now because he didn't want to let go. What's inside the coconut? So that's why you have to be careful about what you expose yourself to. Next topic is how can you make a positive thought of a negative exposure?
By some of the many examples that we've used so far, you want to take the good from things, maybe not the mentality, and leave the bad alone. Like, hey, I've watched drug dealers do different things. All right, I might learn organization, might learn how to count money, might learn how to operate as a businessman, might learn a lot about sales.
Right.
So I want to take my sales experience and kind of apply that to my job. You know what I mean, or things like that. Learning. Being a distributor of product, I might want to learn management techniques from the OGs or from a gang type environment.
Right.
The OGs pass things down to the younger members. They do this. They distribute. So I can learn those different things. Learn how to not be taken advantage of, maybe in certain instances. Learn how to be cautious. I might learn how to fight. I might learn how to use a firearm. But I don't want to take that mentality of shooting people whenever they disagree with me, because that's what I've been exposed to. Exactly. Fighting anyone that I have an issue with. You know what I mean? I learn how to defend myself and use those skills when the time comes.
Right. And see, one thing, growing up in the hood, one thing you can depend on is, actually weird to even say this, but it's true. But nobody really talks about it, is growing up in the hood, people are going to try to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
It could be people on the streets. It could be family members. It could be people that you hold high esteem. It's weird when somebody in your family tries to take advantage of you, especially when you get older. You're like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be family. What's going on here? What, like, do you think I'm just that naive, man? That's one of the things I think we can do is to be able to have enough patience and enough awareness, I guess, to play naive and let somebody run game when you already know they finna run game, but to sit back and watch it, and then when they try to execute, you say, "No, I'm good."
But you wouldn't even listen. Yeah, I listened to your whole thing. I was in awe that you was actually gonna sell me that.
Listen to your playbook. I know you was gonna run cover 2. I wanted to see what you actually gonna run cover 2. Now I'm finna blow the top off of it.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And one thing I wanted to tell people is to make something positive, a negative or positive, your mind is your strongest asset. Everything else could be secondary. Your mind, you have to keep your mind at a place to where you cannot let stuff always affect you. If everybody's perfect, no, nobody's perfect. But you have to be able to withstand negativity and make it or process it to the point where it's like processing food. You may eat the wrong thing, but you know once you process it and it comes out, okay, back to normal now. Instead of holding on to it. I know that's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. What I'm saying is there's something you want to work toward to. I know me and this dude, we have a sense of humor. And we can make something funny that's probably most people probably wouldn't imagine be funny. You know, stuff we see in the hood, stuff we hear or see, something like that. We'll be like, man, I don't even know what was he thinking to think that was okay to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, dudes, may say, I want to rob a bank. Like, why do you want to rob a bank? Like, why do you want to rob a bank? What makes you think that this is the thing to do, is to rob a bank? Like, what's the thought process? You know what I'm saying? And we think about human
like this is the best option.
Yeah. This is the best option. Then most dudes who do it, they end up saying that they run through the money so fast that they don't even know what to do with the money, man.
Yeah, he's skipping a part right here. Yeah. Now we're talking about the rare people who actually succeed.
Right.
So we've seen people succeed who've done this like multiple times. Like you've robbed multiple banks. All right, first of all, if you successfully rob a bank, that should probably be it. Like, cause it's really so hard. Yeah, I have.
Cause I don't want to be on the stage.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. I don't know. I don't know personally. Yeah. I heard.
Well, statute of limitations. This was like 10 years old, I guess. But,
yeah, of course. So I've heard enough, or whatever. You hear about people and you've seen people with this amount of money, and they had to do it again, and they won again.
Yeah,
like
they got addicted
now, you're like you.
Yeah, they get addicted to it.
You won the lottery. Like just win and be out. But they've done it multiple times. Then they
you know what I was thinking? It's kind of like, you know how some dudes, they jump off a bridge and bungee jump, and it's like life threatening. It's like an adrenaline rush. Mm-hmm. I was thinking maybe like robbing the bank is kind of like this. It's like a bungee jump, but you're not jumping off a bridge with a bungee cord. It's like being bungee jumping with your life, man. Cause it's what, 10 years? It's 10 years automatic fed time. You can't negotiate it. You can't do a plea deal. If you rob a bank, it's federal 10 years fed time, man. And the feds, you got to do 90%.
Day for day.
And man, most dudes say, man, you 90% fed time, man. And then you think about other stuff.
You talking about going in, your son is 8.
Man.
You see him again at 18.
18, no problem. In the feds, man.
Jesus.
Don't be in the hole, man. Good God. And then another thing, being able, like, think about the corporate world, dealing with people at work. They use the job as a shield, I guess, to say stuff and do stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like a negative exposure, like at a job, like, somebody like constantly like, harassing somebody or, like, maybe hating on you and stuff like that.
I just always have to say, maybe kind of maybe nitpicking, or you talking about the micromanaging
sometimes
situation.
Sometimes they don't even be a micromanaging. Sometimes you have people that don't even work in your department, man, that don't like you for some reason.
You talking about like exposure, like even like being just exposed to a bad work
bad
culture.
work environment.
Like, the culture's weird.
Like,
we
thought this is gonna be the. You think this is
everybody making money is gonna be professionals and all this stuff.
Acting like high school, man.
Now they cussing, they're disrespectful. You know what I mean? Folks is coming in late. Some people stealing stuff. You know what I mean? They leaving early. And you're being exposed to all this behavior. You're exposed to this negative culture.
Right.
Like, how do you really maintain your integrity? Nobody else is doing the right thing. Nobody else is doing their job. Everybody else is disrespectful. Like, am I just going to join the club? Or I'm going to just kind of not let this... Because nobody wants to be the only person that's working. So sometimes that exposure can affect your work ethic, who you naturally are.
Right.
Just because now you're angry, you don't want to be taken advantage of. Like, I'm the only person doing the right thing. I'm the only person working. You know what I mean? I had to take care of 8 patients. I had to deal with 15 accounts when everybody else has done 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can learn a lot about yourself by doing the right thing in a bad culture, in a bad environment. Once you're exposed to that, you know what I mean? You're maintaining you.
Yeah.
You're doing yourself a great service, but it do feel like they're taking advantage of you. Nobody wants to feel like they're being pimped or something like that in a situation. So that's very hard to do, and when you're exposed to bad work habits or bad work culture.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes, man, you have to, before it gets peaceful. Sometimes it has to be negative. It's weird, but like it has to be like that. But sometimes, in order to get to the other side, man, you got to walk through a minefield before you get to the other side of the fence, man. And you got to be careful where you walk, man. Look down, man, and be careful, man.
Yeah.
And being able to, like I said, for us, we have a humor, man, sense of humor. And we can use analogies to kind of relate stuff to stuff. And being able to do that, I think really helped us to not get caught up in the negative and say, everybody else doing it, man. So, I mean, it's probably what we should be doing too. Because, like I said, who wants to live like that, man? I mean, it's just like some people be thinking like they say crazy stuff. And then you be like, man, you crazy, man. You're like, what do you mean? Dude, you just said something stupid. Like, what's going on, man? You know what I'm saying?
And other people letting it slide, and you might just be like, that's not very smart.
Or somebody may be insecure, you know what I'm saying? Like, a person is insecure, like, let's say a guy dating a girl or something, he insecure about her doing something, like, every time she leave, he thinking, you talking to another dude? You going to see another dude? Mm-hmm. And then she say, why you acting insecure? What you mean by that? Dude, you keep asking her if she going to see another dude.
Your behavior.
You don't have to be a mind reader to know that something's wrong, that this person may be insecure about something, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too,
And then, being insecure with reason, you know what I mean?
But you don't have to put your insecurities on other people.
Exactly. But I think actually being working and just really doing life, never taking really anything personal.
Right.
Do with the humor thing, and trying to be a good communicator is really good. Has really kind of helped me. Like, maybe they didn't mean to step on my toes. Let me kind of explain, okay, this is how I felt. This is what I perceived to happen. So that really is how it is. Okay, then I can respond to you accordingly, you know what I mean? And accurately, and put you in the right little box, you know what I mean? But not
taking mean to step on your toes.
No, but that's what once I find that out, I'll put you in the right box.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, you put them in the box. They want to play chess. Okay. Let's play chess.
So I know you over here, and this is what you declare. These are your intentions.
Sometimes people want to get a negative reaction out of you, and it throws them off when you get them a positive reaction.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just don't say nothing. Because like I say, what you can and say can be held against you. So guess what? You be positive. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm not going to give you nothing to use. And that burns a pessimistic person up. Yeah. When they can't get no words out of you, you just watch them do that. It's like, man, I can't get this dude to say nothing. You're not, because you're not going to, they'll twist your words up, man.
Oh, yeah, see, so, cause every person has their strong suits, and if you're a manipulator, they're gonna trigger you to get your reaction, then twist your reaction. So you think what they're doing to trigger you is what they're good at. Nope, their specialty might be just twisting your words or painting a picture to somebody else. Like, these people have a lot of time on their hands. You know what I mean? I really don't. Another thing too that make a man, when they put a lot of force, a lot of effort into doing whatever, trying to stab you, then you play dumb. Like, oh, was this knife? Is this your knife that you're trying to stab me with? Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, here it is back. I'm sorry. You didn't mean to stab me with it.
Exactly.
Oh, no, I didn't mean. Yeah, I didn't think you meant to. Like, well, it's a knife. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they meant to stab you, but you play dumb with them, and they're like, man, I can't believe he just fanned the little knife off so easily. I've been thinking about that plan to get on his nerves. I've been thinking about that for a week and a half. I didn't send emails and blah blah blah. So,
and sometimes, I know for young people, you have to be wise about decisions, like who you hang around and who you expose yourself to. Because, like I say, nobody's perfect. We all got flaws. Everybody's different. And some people you can hang with, they could be negative or positive, positive or negative. Some people you hang with, you may be positive or negative to them.
Yeah.
Everybody has positives and negatives. There is no such thing as a person that's all positive. I ain't never seen it. What I mean by that is everybody, let's say you look at two cookies, right? Mm-hmm. Oatmeal or chocolate chip. Depending on what you like. Some people like oatmeal. They like the texture. They like the oatmeal is healthy. Some people like chocolate chip because it's soft and it got the chocolate chips in it. Now, if you're a diabetic, a chocolate chip cookie, you can't eat that. That's a flour cookie. It'll take your life out. You probably got to eat the oatmeal now. But little kids, they want the chocolate chip cookie. But if the oatmeal cookie say, I don't like chocolate chip because it's flawed, the chocolate chip cookie can say, you flawed too. You an oatmeal cookie, man.
Just as much sugar, or whatever.
You lumpy. You an oatmeal cookie. You lumpy, man. And only old people eat oatmeal cookies. Let me not say that. Let's say older people eat oatmeal cookies. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't realize that, though. They'll say this person got flaws, this person got flaws, but they don't see their own flaw. Yeah. If a person point out their flaws, oh no, man, you being offensive now. But they'll have no problem pointing out your flaws, though. You know what I'm saying?
And some of that's due to exposure. They don't even feel like what they're doing is being negative.
Right.
Because it's so common. Like, you know what I mean? Like being raised in an abusive household where they verbally abuse each other, talking to people harshly or maybe using cuss words will offend someone.
Right.
Outside of that household, but that's just how we show love.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Gordon McCullough, right? Roasting in Dunbar. I mean, you didn't want to roast anybody. You know, I mean, you don't want to go through that, but if you didn't defend yourself,
with your words,
you like some Planters peanuts.
So, I mean, somebody feeling like somebody know you can't roast, they might come with some lame jokes. Fire you up because they know you weren't gonna say nothing.
And they weren't even that good to everybody else because they knew you was low hanging fruit.
But I'm talking about if you can only score 3 points, but they can't score. Yeah. They only score 0. You gonna beat them every time.
Exactly.
Now I might score 15, so you ain't trying to bring your little 3 against my 15.
Boy.
But they'll to show take 3 against 0.
And man, let me tell you, boy.
a lot of people. Borderline suicide.
Leave Mike alone, man. That dude made me saying some of the most crazy stuff, man. Like, how you even thinking of that?
Yeah, see, the thing is, man, I'm suicidal with the wrong. I will crack on myself.
And it's quick. Yeah.
I'll crack on myself. Like exactly. you say something about me, I'll make what you said funnier.
Exactly.
And then hit you with double.
Then hit you. Yep. Exactly. And that's what my mom used to say. She said, how can you let somebody affect you that don't even know you? Like, I don't get that. And I didn't get that at first when I was in junior high, when I was younger. When I started getting older, I started getting it. Like, I can't take roasting personal It's just they trying to get through the day, I guess. They trying to be funny. So let me show them what funny is, I guess. Let me show them what funny is. But I did. Some days I had to take some losses. I took some wins. I took some losses.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You gotta see what his mom said was true, but it didn't stop his environment.
Right.
Okay, I mean, hey, you can't let these people affect you, but you still got to get in there and fight. You still got to get in there and talk. You still got in there. You still have to navigate this environment, even though you know they don't know you. It shouldn't hurt you. It shouldn't bother you. Still got to get in there.
But I think the worst situation though was some of the teachers, like they'll roast you, but if you roast them, they send you to the office. You can't roast them back.
So you're a clown.
Yeah.
Sit down.
If you, remember Miss Atkins, in Dunbar? She was real bad at that, man. The dudes be like, man, she gonna roast you, man, but don't say nothing back, because if you do, man, she'll write you up, man. It's like she be using her teachers being a shield, because she was really sarcastic too, man. She'll come back at you quick, but you can't say nothing to her, because it's like they want to be the funniest. If you're the funniest person in the room, if you out funny them, they gonna get the last laugh, but they gonna send you to the office, man. There's a lot of people like that.
Some people get shot over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
we gonna talk about that. Exactly. But yeah, man, we're finna get ready and close this thing out, man. And like to thank y'all for listening to this. I want to say like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Give us some comments, man, on y'all. What y'all some of the exposures, man, that you had a positive, negative thoughts about, man. That'd be pretty cool, man. You let us know what those is, and maybe when we have the next podcast, we'll talk about some of those, what some of our subscribers said, or some of the comments and stuff like that.
Yeah, situation that kind of sticks with you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
If something happened, it's like, ooh, I tried to forget it, but it's right there with me. I was exposed, and I can't be unexposed.
Yeah, man. And some exposed, you can't unrewind and like kind of reverse the hands of time. You can't. You just have to process it.
Ever since I seen that, I ain't been right.
Exactly. It's like sometimes you may not directly see it, you may hear it. I mean, sometimes you hear dudes shooting guns, you think it's in Vietnam. It's like the stuff you hear in the movie, man. Yeah. What that dude shooting, man? I don't want no parts of that. You know what I'm saying? They think, you see something on the news. And I think one thing about, before we close, living in the hood, is the news only maybe cover 5%, if that, of what really happens in the hood. Yeah. I think the streets, if the streets had his own news channel, man.
They burnt up dude's house. They robbed him. You know, they don't put every robbery, every armed robbery. They don't put hardly any armed robberies in there.
Man, so had that chopper, man. Man, he had 100 rounds, man. Shot all 100. It was 100 shells on the ground, man. Yep.